Okay. All right. It's gonna be a demonstration for adding your credit block, title, image if you want to add that as well. I would just kind of refer to the other video if you're using the type tool. Just so I don't have to make this video like super long. Okay, so at this point now, this is like where I'm at with my movie posters. In terms of like all the collaging, overlay effects. Um, I'm pretty happy with how things look. Now, if you want to do like something with like drop shadows or like this TVA door that I created here, which I thought was kind of neat, I could show you guys videos of like how I did that or the drop shadows I did myself. I don't mind helping you guys out individually for that, but if you're kind of curious about those things, so let me know. But I don't want to make this video too long going over all those separate things. Okay, so very first thing though is you want to begin to add your credit blocks. So we're gonna just go on to your Canvas page. So let me just go on to Canvas real quick. So you want to go to the I just want to be an example. You gotta look for that Google folder that I posted in week 3. Or week 2 works, week 2, week 3 is fine. It's the same folder as where your overlay effects are. Just hit the practice Photoshop to go back. I don't know why it's not letting me go back now, but alright, let me go back to the proper page. So look for week 3 assignment. And you want to go to the main page with all the images on there. So there is one with credit blocks. So these credit blocks, though, it's just standard credit blocks. This one says Lego and WB. So don't mind really what it says on there. We're just kind of using this as like the look of a credit block. But in terms of like actually creating and making your own credit block, we're not actually gonna do that for your movie posters. Just because obviously something like this is very elaborate with text and images, or it's like a whole other beast to make a really nice fancy credit block, and just filling out the information, that would take like a whole class period or two doing that. So we're just gonna pick one to use. So I actually use one of these black and white ones. So I'm gonna click on the download onto the computer. So all your stuff's gonna show up on this downloads folder. So these are nice high-res credit blocks, so you should be able to use them. So go back to Photoshop here. So here's the thing though, when we add the credit blocks, I'm gonna just click on the Finder, credit blocks, just click and drag it on here to add the picture. Okay, so it's actually gonna like be, depending on like your design of the movie poster, you might not have any room to really put that credit block in there. Okay, so it's kind of like gonna look awkward if I put it in there, but really simple though. You just change the overlays. So this one I'm gonna change it to line, screen, or multiply. So I'm noticing the linear color dodge is showing up the best, so I'm gonna use that one. So whichever one shows up the best though, you want to go with that one. So if you look on here though, like this credit block though, it's like kind of overlapping my imagery here. So I don't really want to like incorporate that here, and also it's like kind of hard to read the credit block. So one thing we could do with the credit block though is we can crop the picture further down. So if you click on the crop tool and drag it down further, I'm fine if like the movie posters are a little bit longer than 18 by 24. So we're gonna crop it down more, drag this credit block down even further. So I actually want to put it down a little bit further just because I don't want it to be blocking the shadows. So feel free to add some more space on the bottom of your movie poster if it's needed. Because didn't really account for like a credit block at first, but it's okay to add a little bit more space on the bottom here. So now it does look a little abrupt, a little bit weird that there's a credit block down here. And, you know, I actually had this set as a background black, but it's okay if it's like a white too. Not a big deal. So let me see my background color. Yeah, I made it black. I'm just gonna change it to white just to show you it doesn't really make a difference. Alright. Okay. So we have the credit block here. So you want to create another layer in between here. So I'm gonna just click plus on the layers. And I want you all to just add like a gradient to it. So by default, there is probably like a white-black gradient you can use. So you can go either or. And all you gotta do is just click, drag, highlight, or click and drag up. And that'll create like a gradient going up. So obviously this covered in all my areas. You know, not a big deal though. We could just go to the overlays. Overlay is going to be your best friend. You can just do multiply as this overlay. So that'll get rid of all the white. We really just need the black gradient. So, you know, you can see it's like not looking that good right now. So, you know, you have to kind of play around the gradient to get like a, you know, long enough gradient where it's covering the transition from the picture to that, as well as, you know, making like that text legible. Okay, that one's pretty good. Actually, I had to move this up a little higher. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So you have to kind of play around with it until you get like that look, feel that you want. That's too much. And you know, an easy way you can do that is go to the histories panel, drag this down. You can check your different versions of the gradients. This one looks pretty good. So yeah, that one's actually perfect right there. Okay. So, you know, if you don't want to, you can use different colors. So I just decided to use black just because, you know, usually black's a really nice color against the white. So, you know, just make sure your text is like legible though. You know, one of the things that, you know, we'll kind of discuss as like a warm-up is, you know, legibility of like the credit block in your title. Okay, so that's adding the credit blocks. You know, obviously I need to put a title in the middle of the movie poster, so use the type tool. If you don't want to use the type tool, you know, you can look up images online for your movie posters as well. So I'm trying to see if I have it on here. Yeah, I don't know if I can find the title. Okay, but if you want to do like your own title though, I'm just gonna like pop the one that I have here. So let me move this layer up here. So, you know, this is like the title that I got for this one right here. So I actually had to take my time to cut these, the picture out. So if I actually delete this layer mask, you'll see like the original. Oh, whoops. I actually had to take a good bit of time to cut this one out. Sometimes you can get away with the overlay though. This one I don't think I could though. Yeah, just because it's it's got some color, so it's a little bit see-through. So I actually had to physically cut this one out. So you know, don't think just because you have the title made though it's easier. It's actually easier to use the type tool. But I had to manually cut that out. So feel free to jump back on the iPad if you want to do that though. But you know, you can see in the layer mask I actually cut that part out, except for like the middle parts. You know, just make sure to add you know, effects to it. Make it pop out. Again, refer to the video back on there because you know, I just did the blending effects options. I did just a drop shot for this one. Okay, but that part you can refer back to the video for that. Okay, so just kind of moving on to the very, very last part. So this is like after you've done your title, credit blocks, everything. Now all that's left is, you know, just color correcting. So a real easy way to color correct, and you know, is obviously you can, you know, go here, click on your gradient maps. So you know, if you want to just do like a gradient on top of your entire movie poster. And remember, you can use like the legacy gradients here. photographic tones. So this is like bare bones, easiest way to do. Oh, actually, I have to click on this one right here. So I have to click on this properties window. This is the easiest way of doing like your gradients. Okay, now obviously these are like colors that are like distinct colors. Like this is like a blue, this is a red. If you don't want to do that kind of a look for the movie poster, which I think some of you guys probably don't want to do that. You can just color correct certain images in the movie poster. So for example, I would just start with the background first. So I'm gonna go to the layer where I have my background. Oh, you know what? Just realized it's kind of hard to color correct if yeah, let me fix my layers So I actually hit a lot of these layers because I was showing the class the other thing. Okay, these are all like fog layers. That's the credit block. That was like a silhouette I was adding before. Where are all the fog effects I had? Anywho. Okay, yeah, don't mind the fog in the middle here. Somehow they got deleted off of this document. Yeah, I don't know what happened with it. It's a little weird and odd, but okay, just moving on though. So, yeah, you want to take a look at each of your layers in the background. I would just start off with the background first. So whatever like the top layer is, whichever your background is, I would just kind of click on the top there. And if you click on this adjustments tab and click on color balance, this is a nice easy way to color balance your picture without going too crazy with the colors. So I would just start off with like the background color first. So just your midtones, highlights. So in a way, it's kind of like getting all your colors kind of similar to one another. So I got like this kind of like reddish, bluish, orangish colors going on here. So you're gonna keep going on to your layers on top, and then just one at a time you would just adjust colors to what that is. So I would click on the same thing, color balance again. Make sure you click on this tab here. This tab will make it affect only on that layer below, which I'm just working on Wolverine right now. So now I'm gonna try to match it with the color of the background. So I'll go a little bit more blue here, and then same thing with highlights. So the highlights a little bit more yellowish, reddish. So just kind of play around with it, see what looks the best. Shadows, probably a little bit more blue. You won't know until you just kind of play around with it. So you can check this to see before and after. So this is like kind of yellow greenish. Now it's getting a little bit more like the background here. And if you want to take it an even step further, you can even click on the brightness and contrast too. So do the same thing, just make it go on the layer below. You want to brighten them up a little bit more, or create more contrast. You can do that as well. Make them a little bit darker in the background. So you do the same thing for like each of them. So same thing here with the cutout of oops. I need to figure out what I did with this head. Okay, the Deadpool head's right here. So make sure it's on the the layers are next to each other. Actually, I'm on a different layer. So I'm actually gonna merge these layers. So you can actually click on this merge down and click apply. So I'll merge those two together. So do color balance too here. So again, make sure you see I was like changing the whole thing. So you don't want to change the whole thing. Make sure it's only affecting the one below it. because it's very very like minor things you're changing, so you don't want to change like the whole thing at one time. Cause it's still gonna have like that feel where like it's a little off, and you don't want it to be a little off. You want to make sure everything looks good together. So you kind of get the idea though. I would just do it for like each of them, and eventually when you finish it though, it's gonna look something like this when you're done. So, I added some glow effects on them. Actually desaturated a little bit more. Even after you're done with the whole thing, if you want to just like play around with like the overall colors, I did like hue saturations here. It was more saturated before, but I just kind of toned it down a little bit more when I was finished. So a lot of different ways you can kind of play around with the colors, and it's just really like little final touches that you're doing. You're not really changing the movie poster too much. It's just like little things you would do to, make it like, from like good to great, or kind of like perfecting it in a way. All right. Okay.